Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Billionaires Club 101. I did a video explaining an incident that happened with me. It was an illegal traffic stop. Don't want to get into that, but it made me feel a certain way that I've never felt before. Never like to play the race card, but unfortunately, there are people who have a certain way of looking at people who don't look like them, and then they get this perception of how they think someone is. So they turn into this person who just can't see that this other person is in that same setting they are in. I don't want to. A prime example is there's a term called Karen, right? And I don't want to classify it as just a certain group of people because racism and discrimination it's not a black and white thing. It's not a black and white thing. It's a racial or discrimination thing. So everyone can have a be a part of discrimination and racial thing. It's not a black and white thing. It's just a people thing. I believe that everyone is created equal. And one of the things that I was reading about is in the Declaration of Independence, is that all men, not just saying the word men, it stands for people. So all men are created equally. And unfortunately, it had an exclusion that wasn't printed in that. And that was exclusion. That exclusion was for black people. And I know this has happened 100 years ago, and we've come a long way from that through certain laws that were passed, certain things were amended. Unfortunately, this is just was a process that we had to go through to make sure that people who look like me, or maybe that are from a different background and had rights that needed to be respected, because at one point in time we have what's called segregation. Blacks over here, whites over there. And then we have what's called desegregation, where now we can go freely and go to the places that we would like to go to when we wanted to. But then, based off of those laws, certain people did not abide by those laws. They did not abide by those laws that were put in place. And then, where you have what's called a system of equally but separate. If that makes sense. But anyway, sometimes you're going to encounter a person, organization, people of authority, such as government figures or whatever the case may be. You might go to a restaurant, may feel that you're being treated unfairly. You might be certain restaurants I start to see is in the back where you can read this says we have a right to refuse service to anyone. That's just a sign. And some authorities will come in and say, hey, they have a sign in place to say they have a right to refuse service to anyone. And I seen a story once where there's a gentleman who's going to a restaurant. I'm not going to say the ethnicity of the restaurant owner, just to keep it plain. But the customer was a black person ordering food in a certain location of the parts of the United States. They told him they're not going to take his order, and they called the cops because he refused to leave. He was like, why are you not going to serve me? We don't have to. And they would not take his order. They became belligerent with the customer. Police officers came in, tried to put in be like a referee, kind of say, well, they don't want to serve you, so you got to leave. And the gentleman says, wait, I don't have to leave just because they want to serve me. I'm an American. I want to buy this food. And it was just one of those things where it escalated to the business owner who was contacted, and I guess the business owners didn't realize that was what was going on. Said serve him, and be done with it. Because what happens is, if you call this number, civil rights lawyer, the number is 844-595-1504. This is a nationwide phone number. You don't have to become belligerent. You don't have to get arrested because you want to prove your point to the police officer who's trying to force you out of there. You actually have rights. You have a right to go through this through the United States, and if an establishment is serving the public, and you're a part of the public, and you're not creating a nuisance, and you're not disobeying their rules and regulations of being a part of that establishment, your voice is not escalating. You're coming in representing yourself in a manner that's pleasant. You should be able to have service. This is where that divide was years ago. That it's supposed to be going away. But I know in certain parts of the United States, it's just not. It's not that. So what happens is, you call an attorney. I'm not an attorney. This is not legal advice. To get legal advice, you're going to call a civil rights lawyer or an attorney. Say it's just that lawyer and attorney is just it's interchangeable. It doesn't matter how you call it. But the number is 844-595-1504. That's a nationwide phone number. You call the number, an attorney will be online with you. You tell them what's going on, and they're going to let you know they're going to take your case. Now, some of these cases are will put a business establishment in the rights of the people versus being selective based off a person's ethnicity, okay, where they come from, all those things. I want to thank you for tuning in to Billionaires Club 101. If this is a beneficial video that you thought that brought some value to you, love the comments. And if you are a person who has a civil rights violation and use this phone number, please let me know and our channel know that you use the phone number and let us know your outcome. I want to thank you very much for tuning in to Billionaires Club 101. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you.